Welcome to Mastermind with Maggie. Maggie Chula is a psychic channel for the Akashic Master Teachers. Together, they are experts on spiritual healing and helping you connect to your source of light, your soul. Join in a mastermind. Resolve your problems and create goals for the future. Build action steps that empower you to create your life in partnership with your soul wisdom. Problems can be on any subject: health and well-being, relationships, spiritual, emotional, or your connection to your soul. Manifesting your goals can be simple and easy. Join in the discussion. Mastermind solutions to problems. Create goals and action steps. Then move forward to a life full of possibilities. We invite you to come with your problems and leave with a plan.
Greetings and hello. My name is Maggie Chula, and I'm so happy you've taken the time to join me today. I love sharing empowering ways you can master your mind and take control of your life. And today, I want to talk about how can you learn to master your mind as you take control. Do you ever feel you're just not up for one more change or challenge in your life? I know this has been a pretty challenging week, month, year for many of us. And some of us are going, no, absolutely not. I think I just had the last challenge I can take. And it does feel like that. No matter who you are or what you do, sometimes those changes just keep coming faster and faster and faster. And I think that is true. I don't think it has to depend on how old you are. It feels that the world itself is changing very quickly. And during this podcast, I want to help you learn some simple techniques designed to help you communicate with peaceful, loving beings of light. So Mastermind is a technique that's used by many of us to help us receive support and attain our goals. We'll talk about the traditional method, and I also want to share a special twist that I use and I employ when I add spiritual teachers to help inspire me, and I bring them into my sacred mastermind group. So if it's time for you to take back some control of your thoughts and energy, I encourage you to join us and to open up your mind. Now, the phone lines are available to be opened, and you can call 202-570-7057 and talk to us. But it's really good if you want to send me an email, and then I can ask your question and give you an answer during the show. And my email is maggie@maggiechula.com. So today, as I said, we're here to talk about masterminding. And mastermind is a technique that I started to learn about when I was working to heal my own life and my own physical body. I had a lot of time in that process to read books and to study and to try to get a feeling for how to create new goals, create new habits, and keep myself going. So I naturally created a mastermind circle with these beings that I always felt around me because I was quite intuitive as I was growing up. Later, it was learned that it was psychic, which I think is intuition is a part of your psychic sensors. But my senses allowed me to feel and see these amazing beings of light that most people can't see. They can't see them with their physical eyes. And many people can't seem to see them even with their third eye. And the third eye is the place where you open up and you let your imagination and your creativity share with you what's really around you. You start to work with your feelings and your emotions and those parts of you that are really natural and yet have maybe been suppressed as you were growing up. Because do you remember long ago, not that long ago, children should be seen but not heard. Now, I just had the pleasure of spending time with my granddaughter, who's 3 years old, And my goodness, she's just this little beam of light. She opens up, she's happy, she doesn't need anything special to help her be happy. And I was really watching her this weekend to see how I could take back that pure love of life and really ignite that within myself. Because like many of you, I've had a tough year. It's been difficult listening to all of the stuff that goes on in an electric during the election process. It was electrifying, yes. But it's just a continuation of a cycle of chaos that seems to be happening over and over. And what I really got from this past week and from all of the different things that happened was how truly different many of us feel from each other. You can be with a group of people and still feel alone. Or you can be with a group and happy that you're with them and you're all friends, but things come out of their mouth, thoughts, feelings, understandings, and it starts to make you feel either offended or afraid. And the processes that I'm about to talk about have helped me in my life start to feel what I say with quotes, normal. Because I was born different. I was born and I had to wear leg braces and steel shoes. I mean, not many people that I knew had to do that. I couldn't see very well. I thought everyone could see. So what I learned from my childhood was, first of all, that I was different. No one thought like me, and that I could never be normal. But the truth is, that's not true. That was somebody's understanding. It could have been the fears that came from my parents. It could have been the fears that came from my grandparents. It could have been all kinds of things. But what I grew up thinking, which were the fears and the limitations that the adults around me had shared with me, and I'm sure it was in a loving way to keep me safe and to keep me healthy as they thought I could be. Because I was never supposed to live past 20. I was always going to be sickly and weak, and I had to depend on my mind because I couldn't use my body. And all of that were limitations that were placed on me based on what you could physically see with your eyes. But if you could open up and see with your energy, with the third eye, then you could see all this light around me. You could see all this happiness flowing from my heart. You could see that I believed in the goodness of everyone. But that isn't what people could see, because they were looking with critical eyes. They were looking through the lenses of their own limitations. And I share with you, I think we all do that. I know I have consciously tried not to do that with my children or my grandchildren, but I know I did. And I did it well-meaning, to put limits on them, on what they expected in their life, because I didn't want them to be hurt. And I'm sure that that's happened to all of us. And we've done that to other people. But today, I want to talk to you about some of the things that really did help me start to expand my mind and to realize that ordinary thinking wasn't something I was interested in. That it's okay to be unique and different. As a matter of fact, it's kind of fun not to be the same as everyone else. And as I was embracing my uniqueness of being able to talk to spirits, having them talk to me, and also being able to share with people, oh, I see this beautiful being right next to you, and these are the messages they're sharing. What I realized was sharing this love and this happiness and this hopeful way of thinking really helped me with my own life, helped me stay happy and focused, because It seems so easy to give into the thoughts of limits, the thoughts that you can't do something because you're too old, you're too big, you're too wrong country, whatever it is. You'll find all kinds of ways to reinforce your negative thinking. And I want this show, not just this one, but all of the shows within the Mastermind series, to help you see the potentials and the possibilities in life. Because these master teachers, Jesus, Mother Mary, Saint Germain, Archangel Raphael, all these beings of light that work through me and countless other teachers share with us the pure potential of life. Being alive, breathing in the breath of life, and being able to focus your mind, you can create anything your heart and your mind desire. So that's what I'm going to do today. Share with you one of my favorite processes, and it's called Mastermind. Now, there's two ways of working with it. One is maybe the more established method, where you get other people, physical beings that you know, either on the phone or in person, and you create a group that works together for the greater good of the circle. Or you can do it my way, which is, yes, absolutely, you can have physical people there, but I tended to always be alone, no matter what I did. So I called in these beings of light. So when we come back from this commercial, I'm going to share with you both ways to do a mastermind. And I hope that you do come back after this break. So I'll see you in a few.
Conscious connection to a more mindful world. OMTimes Radio. IOM FM.
Spiritual, metaphysical, green living, psychic, alternative healing, life coaching. Do any of these or similar terms apply to your business or cause? If so, you are in a niche market with a very specific audience. Conscious Gate PR is the world's leading conscious public relations agency. With a global reach of over 4 million and growing, we offer comprehensive media campaigns to our targeted market. Learn more at ConsciousGatesPR.com. Conscious marketing for conscious minds.
My name is Victor Furman. Some call me the Voice. I've always been fascinated with human nature, spirituality, science, and the crossroads at which they meet. Join me Wednesdays at 8 p.m. Eastern on OMTimes Radio, and we'll explore these topics and so much more on Destination Unlimited.
Are you stuck? Have you tried over and over to stop an addiction, let go of self-sabotage? Do you have anxiety attacks or anger issues? Do you want to stop? Let go. Breathe. I can help. I have a 9-step spiritual healing path program that will lead you towards attaining balance and well-being in your life, body, and mind. Contact me. Go to MaggieChula.com and learn more. I'm here when you are ready.
We are live outside the home of Joe and Rosie Goddard, where a pretty big tickle fight broke out just minutes ago. Sources say their father instigated the laughter. Let's go inside for a comment. Apparently, they have no comment. Dads, let this be a reminder that it only takes a moment to make a moment. Call 877-4DAD-411 or visit fatherhood.gov. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
Okay, so welcome back. Welcome back to Mastermind with Maggie. And today we are talking about how to master your mind and take control of your life. We're using the technique called Mastermind. And there are two different methods to this. One is a traditional method, and one is what I call Mastermind with a twist. And that's adding beings of light and archetypes to your group. So, this started for me. I was formally introduced to this concept by Napoleon Hill in his timeless classic, Think and Grow Rich. And he was talking about mastermind groups that he founded. But this mastermind has been around since the beginning of time because even Benjamin Franklin wrote about belonging to a mastermind. And the mastermind really means that when two minds come together, that the synergy that you get in contact with is greater than the sum of all of the minds in the group. So in a traditional mastermind, what would happen is you would have two or more people, and usually there's a group. Some people set the limit to 10 people. Some people only want 5. But it's anything that's more than 2 people. And you come together normally on a regular basis, such as once a month, I think, maybe once a week. And you are there really to help each other, to empower each other, to dream big, and to go after goals. Because what a lot of us do is when we're alone, we start to think small. We really start to feel like we can't do this. There's no way we can. It's too big, it's too much, it'll take too much time. But when you get into a group of people, so you bring these people together, say it's you and your friends or you and a couple of people that you really admire, and you come together, you create this mastermind with the desire that you're going to help each other succeed. So in the masterminds that I have done in the past, when we've come together, the first thing that happens is we open it up. You open it up with a sacred prayer, or you open the circle up in some way with some sacred ritual, so that you are acknowledging the fact that you're bringing in the energy and that you are all here together for a common goal. That goal is to help you all succeed. Then you would go around the room and start to talk about some of the things that have happened in the past week or the past month. What are some of the great things that have happened to you? What are some of your accomplishments and your achievements? And that sets that tone of gratitude. This happened to me, and it is to start with those pieces, the one where you say the things that happen that you're so happy with, that are goals that you have set in place. Now, some people are pretty strict about this. So when you start a mastermind group, you want to have select goals that you're working with. What are you joining this mastermind for? If you're joining it to expand your networking ability and you want to increase your client load, okay, that's a goal. Maybe you want to double the amount of money that you bring into your work in a year, and that can be a goal. I've always used Mastermind with people to also have it be for goals of healing, because I do come from a background for myself where I needed to learn how to heal. I had come so far with Western medicine that I just couldn't buy into what they were saying I needed in order to live a life that felt worthwhile to me. So I started mine to learn how do I fix these physical limitations so that I can move forward and be whole and healthy. Now, so what I'm trying to share here is that it can be for almost anything, almost really anything. Some people could have a mastermind group for finding and attracting their soulmates, because the real thing you're doing is you're bringing together this energy and you're sharing in this process that once a week, once a month, we're going to all come together and we're going to work towards shared goals. So in that, I mean, if there's like 3 of you, you don't all have to have the same goal, but you share in that person's goal. So if it became my turn, I would share with you what I wanted for my life, how I saw it moving forward, and my mastermind partners would ask questions and help me flesh it out so that I not only have this goal and it's some goal that says, oh, I'm going to double my client load, but it would have a goal that would say, now, what does that feel like? Oh, it feels so great because when I answer the phone, I just know that could be a new client for me. That could be somebody that I can help. And how does your family feel about this? Well, my family is very excited because now we can afford to take that trip we've always wanted. So do you see what I mean? You start to get more of yourself into it. You're not just on a mental level saying, I want to double my client load because I want to bring in money. No, you want to bring more than that to it. You want to really see how that's going to impact the other people in your life. You want to see all the blessings that are going to come with it. And so having a group of people, you help empower each other to be positive and to stay focused. And you have other people that are like cheerleaders. They're like cheerleaders in the group with you. So afterwards, when you finished, then they affirm for you. I see that for you. I can understand that's going to happen. I can see you happily working with people and sharing what you know. So you help people by thinking out why they're doing it. You help the other person by really establishing in their mind that you can see it too. But I want to share with you from that spiritual, energetic side, you are also helping because you're bringing your energy to that. Because remember, one of the universal laws is the power of attraction, the law of attraction. So if I'm thinking of your success and you're thinking of your success and 2 other people are thinking about how good it's going to be when you're successful at this, you bring that synergy of energy so that it's more than just 4 times greater. You've also got that vibration that holds, and together you're helping each other all build this platform together. So you're happy for that other person and they're happy for you. And you know what? It feels good to be happy for somebody else. It feels good. And then by focusing on other people, you really give yourself a chance to rest and relax your brain. So it's not always about you. It's not just about me. No, it's about everyone. And you start to really feel once again that connection with others. The connection with others. And you realize that, you know what? I can help that person because I do believe in them. So focusing and going around and sharing, all of us in the circle, everyone gets a voice. Everyone gets a chance to talk about it, and everyone gets a chance to help the person whose turn it is see and feel and know they're being supported. Now, if that's all it was, think of how great that would be for you to have a group of people that you could meet with on a regular basis. Whether it's once a week, once a month, maybe it's every 3 months. I had some very good friends, and our worlds just don't seem to get together very often. So we took the time that every 3 months we were going to get together, every 3 months. And it really wasn't too hard because life goes so fast, those months seem to fly. But it's great to get together again and say, okay, so how are things going with you? Now, we don't have a professional mastermind. We haven't said we are in a mastermind group, but that's honestly what we've done. So think about it from your life. Do you have people in your world, in your life, that you get together on a regular basis, that you help them know they're going to be okay, that you support them, that you're hopeful for them? Now, the difference between you getting together with your friends and getting together in a mastermind is there is a process in place. And in this process, we truly do come together for the greater good. We share that with ourselves, and we don't say, I can't see you doing that because you know what? You don't like to speak in front of people. No, but what you might say is, so help us. How do you see yourself when you're talking in front of people? How can you see that happening? And you help them go, oh, it's going to be great because I'm going to feel the love that flows from the people who are listening, and I'm going to know that I'm safe and I'm whole and I'm calm. So those are the processes that you can use when you're in a physical mastermind with a group of people. And as I said, you can be on the phone, absolutely. You don't have to be physically present with each other. You can do Skype. But you know that you're all coming together for that purpose. And it's really nice, too, because you know you're going to get your chance. So that's why I say you start the circle and you open it up, and the first thing you do is share, well, what's happened since the last time? How did that go for you? How are you feeling now? And everybody's happy for you. I love that idea, doing a mastermind and having people be happy for you and supportive of you. So I want to encourage you that that's a good way to work with a mastermind. But when we come back, I'm going to share with you what I did, because I was young and I didn't really know this other concept. And in my process, I worked with beings of light and with archetypes and energy, and you can do that too. So we're going to take another pause, but when we come back, we're going to start to add to this mastermind and add to that knowledge. So I hope you do come back. I'll see you soon.
A conscious lifestyle for a mindful life. OMTimes Radio. IOM FM.
Hi everyone, this is Shay Parker, the host of Best of the Best, which airs live right here on IOM Radio every Tuesday night at 8 p.m. Eastern and 5 p.m. Pacific. I'm super excited to bring you expert guest hosts, spiritual discussions, free psychic readings, and so much more. I can promise that you will not want to miss this one-of-a-kind, fun, yet touching, down-to-earth show. Join us every Tuesday night at 8 p.m. Eastern, 9 p.m. Pacific on OTR-FM. This is Shay Parker, and I can't wait to see you there.
Hello, my name is Maggie Chula, and I'm here to help you as you awaken to the sacred truth, you are a soul. You can communicate with that part of your being, and you already do. Are you ready to learn how to enhance this connection and create your life in partnership with your sacred soul wisdom? I can help you. I will teach you, and I guarantee results. Join me. Channel your light with the world. Go to MaggieChula.com to learn more.
My name is Lola Silvestri, and I'm going to be 95 this year. I was very independent. I fell, and I had to have Meals on Wheels. America, let's do lunch.
1 in 6 seniors faces the threat of hunger, and millions more live in isolation. Drop off a hot meal and say a quick hello. Volunteer for Meals on Wheels by donating your lunch break at americaletsdolunch.org. This message brought to you by Meals on Wheels America and the Ad Council.
So welcome back to Mastermind with Maggie. And on today's show, we are talking about how can you master your mind and take control of your life. And one of those methods is using the technique called Mastermind. Now, I clearly love this technique, or I wouldn't have named the show after that. But what I like about it is the true mastermind. In using this process, you are working for the greater good. You are being positive and hopeful, and you are willing to support and wanting to support other people in your own growth. And so in this last segment, we had talked about the traditional mastermind, which is with physical people, people who are on the earth right now, and friends, how we do that. This segment, I wanted to talk to you about this little twist that I have, and that's masterminding with beings of light or archetypes. And I say archetypes because even in this book, Think and Grow Rich, that Napoleon Hill had, he was sharing a way he masterminded with a group of beings that weren't there. So he picked people that he wanted to talk to, that he wanted to work with. And one of them was Henry Ford. Well, he didn't know Henry Ford, but he called Henry Ford to him. And he also wanted to work with other people that had been successful or that he really admired who were no longer living. So he did do this, and he called these beings in, and he sat down in his sacred circle, and he dialogued with them. Now, he never called himself a psychic, and I doubt if he would have thought of himself that way. I don't think they even had the words called intuition. But what he did, he had learned from other very successful businessmen who used this technique. And you and I know that if you can call in a being and you can talk to them, that's a psychic sense. That's the ability to open up and use your imagination, to open up and to allow yourself to feel and to hear things. So what I did after listening to this was, now I'd always worked with some light beings because, as I said, I had been working on my health forever. And what I decided to do was to call them in and to ask them to start to help me build a spiritual practice that could eventually become my daily work. Because I had found myself feeling kind of tapped out in my learning, and I love to learn. I'm just a continual student, which makes me a good teacher. And what I had decided was I really felt I was no longer growing in my job and my career path. I was a project leader in information systems, and while I loved the daily changes, because you can never take a project and you'd never create the same thing in one day. Wherever you are in a project, it's always moving forward. So I loved the idea of always having something different. But I felt that I was being asked to not share my real self with people. And more I was being asked just not to tell people things that I learned or that I knew about the company. So I decided I wanted to mastermind and find a different way of making a living. And I called in Doreen Virtue, who I've never met, Carolyn Mays, who I've studied and I just love, and Mother Mary, because I really needed compassion. And I had this group of beings there. And I was asking them, now, how do I do this? Clearly, I called in Doreen Virtue because I love the fact that she worked with angels. And I called in Carolyn Mays because I have studied her medical intuition and all of her books, and I really love that too. And Mother Mary, as I say, was for the love and the compassion. But you can do this too, and it doesn't have to be those light beings. It can be whoever it is you feel a desire to call in. But the process remains the same as whether they're people that you know, friends of yours, or people that you admire, that you actually have on the phone, or if it's something that's just in your imagination. So in my sacred circle, I would open it up just like I share with you, you do in a formal circle. But the difference is I didn't ask Doreen, what were your accomplishments this week, or what are your goals? Because, they weren't really with me. Instead, they were masterminding to help me with my goals. And as I grew and as I got answers, I started to follow the processes that they were sharing with me. And it was just as if, it was probably better than some of the other ways I had worked to get myself unstuck, because I really looked forward to these sessions. So the process is you have a ritual and a routine. And some people think you have to pray, and some people feel you must read this statement, and it's always got to be the very same statement. But maybe you'll know this about me by now. That's just not me. I do have a prayer when I open up to channel, but and that's something that I modified from my masterminding group. So I did open with a prayer, and I did share that it was for the highest intention. So I wanted to be a force of light and love. I want to empower and inspire people. I love to see people happy and feeling positive and hopeful. So that's what I wanted my mastermind to do for me. Help me go from this job that I did love. I did love many pieces of it, but there were pieces that I couldn't take, that I just didn't like anymore. And so I did what I teach people to do. Like, even when you're looking for a soulmate, it's the same process, or a job, or any of that. It's the same process. You take what you love. Okay, got that firmly in my head. I love working with people. I love inspiring people. I enjoyed being a good motivator. But I wanted to include things that said, and whatever I do in my work, I get to grow in my spiritual knowledge. And that's accepted. And my feelings are a plus. They're not something that are soft skills that we say very quietly, like, oh, Maggie, she's very emotional. Because, I had a job that was logic and reason and rational. So my emotions were welcomed when we're in our one-to-one and I'm helping team members, but not welcomed in the boardroom. And I don't blame them. I'm just saying it didn't seem to be right for me. So I wanted something that was a positive, that would be a plus. And so what I'm sharing with you, and I hope you hear, is you need to take the things. What is that goal? What are you doing it for? Why are you doing it? That's an important part too. But then when you find what you want, think about what you like. What is it that you want to do it for? What do you like to do? So I like to inspire. I like to motivate. But then I also had other goals. I wanted to expand my ability to grow as a spiritual being. I wanted to be able to take classes on how to talk with angels and have that's part of my work. So I had these reasons and these things that I wanted to do. And I used that within my mastermind group. Now, you can do this too. These processes are ones that are very simple and very easy. And you could even do this today, all alone by yourself. Sit down and start to think about what's going on in my life. What is it that I just really don't want to do this anymore? I'm not saying that you hate, because everything is a lesson. But what would you just as well give up? I'd really be okay if I don't have to bus any more dishes and I don't have to cook for other people, or, what is it? What is it? And then you take a look at those statements about what I don't want to do this anymore. I've done that. That's enough. And you start to say, okay, but what do I want to do instead? So instead of I don't want to serve people food anymore, what would you like instead of that? Would you like to be in a place where you can go out more often? I'd like to make enough money that I can go out 2 or 3 times a week and feel fine about it. I've got more than enough money to pay off my debts and my bills and still be able to play. I mean, that can be a real goal. And it is a real goal for many, many people. It doesn't have to be boring things. And if it's health, maybe it's, I want to be able to walk 20 minutes a day and not be winded. and my leg doesn't hurt. These are things that you can actually have as a goal in your mastermind group. Because if yours is about health, you might want to mastermind with some healers like Archangel Raphael or the doctor that you really enjoyed talking to. You can pick anybody, anything. You can even pick characters. I have people who tell me they mastermind with characters that they've really enjoyed. Maybe it could be Katniss from the Hunger Games. I want to feel powerful and in control, and no matter what happens, I know I can defend myself. Okay, so talk to her. What would you share? Yes, you're not talking to her really, because she doesn't exist. But as an energy force, as an archetype, she does. You bring up her name. We all have certain images of what those characteristics are. So I'm sharing with you that it's good to take the blinders off. Take the blinders off and start to let yourself think differently. Think differently. Because the way you've been thinking and the things you've been doing, if you're not feeling good about your life or you really want to make some massive changes, then you need to see what part of your life are you here to break up. What part of your life do you need to just chop off so that you don't have to work in that same old pattern again? And I think many of us are feeling that way. And that is something that has resonated so much with people that through this election process, we've been able to share, I don't want to do this anymore in this way. I want something new. So now we get to all go through and mastermind and start to think about, all right, what are we doing with our lives and how are we going to move forward? And so, I can see it's time for another set of commercials. So I'm going to ask you to come on back after this next set and I'll wrap this up for you. How to use Mastermind in your life today.
Free your mind. Expand your soul. OMTimes Radio. IOM FM. The number one reason girls drop out of school in sub-Saharan Africa is lack of access to feminine hygiene products. The Pads for Schoolgirls Project, an outreach of Humanity Healing International, is changing this paradigm by setting up sewing programs at schools, teaching girls a vocational skill, while producing the reusable pads that help keep them attending classes. The girls pay it forward by making and giving pad kits to other girls in need. To learn more, visit humanityhealing.org. Humanity Healing is where your heart is.
Grab a cup of tea or a glass of wine and tune in for Inspired Conversations with publisher Linda Joy on Tuesdays at 2 p.m. Eastern. Linda creates sacred space for leading female luminaries, empowering authors, heart-centered female entrepreneurs, coaches, and healers. A soulful venue where guests openly share the fears and obstacles they've overcome, wisdom and lessons learned, and the personal journey that led them to the transformational work they do in the world. Inspired Conversations to empower you on your path to authentic, soulful living.
Hi, this is Maggie Chula. I am a psychic medium, medical intuitive, channel, and teacher for the Master Teachers of the Akasha. My work involves all levels and layers of healing the body, emotions, mind, and spirit. I am able to connect to your divine counsel and offer guidance and clarity from your soul's perspective. To learn more about me, please go to my website, maggiechula.com.
It's me, your heart. Hi. High blood pressure is serious, and if you think I'm just going to keep ticking away, you're wrong. I can quit whenever I want, but I like my job. Just treat me better. Maybe we can do some exercise on occasion. After all, we're in this together.
Don't let your heart quit on you. High blood pressure can lead to a stroke, heart attack, or death. Get yours to a healthy range before it's too late. Find out how at heart.org/blood pressure. A message from the American Heart Association, the American Stroke Association, and the Ad Council.
So welcome back. Welcome back to Mastermind with Maggie. And today we have been talking about how to build a mastermind group. And as I shared, there's a couple of different ways. One way is the traditional mastermind, and that's getting people, friends, people that you really know and would like to emulate, getting them and asking them to be in a group with you. So getting one together. And another one is to bring in spiritual beings, beings you don't know or people you don't know. They don't have to be dead to bring them in, but you're doing it more in a imaginative way. Just you and these beings of light. But whichever way you do it, or you could do it probably with a mixture of both. But whatever it is you decide to do, however you decide to do it, know that it works best if you have a regular time of the month or you have a regular time of the week, so you're always doing it at the same appointed time. And then you open it up with some ritual or some process that lets you know, okay, I'm opening up the circle now, and you're asking these beings of light, or you're asking your friends, you have them on, and then once that circle is open and you've all said hi, then you want to make sure and start the process off with, let's talk about accomplishments. What are some of the successes that have happened? Being grateful for the things that have happened in your life. And in this process, if you're using a traditional mastermind, everyone in the group gets a chance to talk. And while they're talking, you are focused on their well-being. You're focused on seeing them successful. You're focused on asking questions to help them flesh that out. So that instead of saying, I want to double my income, you start to say things like, I want to bring in more than enough money to meet my bills, to fulfill my goals for 2 fun vacations with my whole family every year. And well, you can see I'm even changing it as I go along in the show. So you can do that too. You want to make sure that you have that energy and that feeling of being open and positive, and you can do anything that you can accomplish. So what you're really doing is surrendering your ordinary way of thinking. You're letting your mind go, today, right now, at this time, I'm not going to let the inner critic come through. I'm not focusing on that sort of thing. I'm focusing on all the potentials and power within my life that I can see for my future. You're going to think differently. You're going to start to really want to see the things that are happening so you can bring it to your mastermind and share with them your successes. But you also want to do it for yourself so that you can open up and go, oh my gosh, my dreams are being manifested. I am being shown how I'm being taken care of by God, or the angels are here. My health is getting better. All these things that can happen. Because I did use it in mine to, one way that I was sharing, I used it to change my work. Now, very few people are going to go from writing and creating systems to wanting to be a psychic medium or a channel of light for the master teachers. But I did. And I started to know that one of the reasons I was so successful as a project leader was I believed in that application of bringing everyone together, people to represent different parts of the company, and everyone having their own voice and being heard, so that I could listen to everyone, They could all hear each other, and not one person was greater than the other. We didn't pay attention, or I didn't pay attention to their titles. I wanted to know what part of the company did you represent, and what are the needs for that part of the company. So we came together, what I realize now, in a mastermind. And from there, I could take that information and synthesize it down to what was in the best, highest and best for the company. And, then you have to go through other things. So that's just the part about the planning stages. And that's what you can do for yourself, because remember, we shared this before, that a project is something that has not been created yet. It can be anything. You can be a project. Your health can be a project. And I have used Mastermind for my own health. When I was very sick and told I wasn't going to survive, I called on Archangel Raphael and said, hey, that's not going to happen, so let's figure out a different way. And we did. That's the amazing thing. We actually did. So there's a lot of different ways to use this, and there's a lot of different ways that I hope that you start to think about how can you use this in your own life. Because, there are many changes happening in the world, and there always have been and there always will be. But if you stay positive and open to understanding what are the lessons that are coming through, how can you maybe change so that you're more in alignment with supporting and encouraging others, then we're going to build that greater good for all concerned. Now, next week, I want to talk about, our subject is, what do I have to be thankful for? And this came to me this morning as I started to think about Thanksgiving, because Thanksgiving is an important holiday here in the United States. And history shared with us it was created by the Pilgrims after they survived their first winter and before they endured another one. I was taught that the Pilgrims sat down to eat their bountiful meal after the fall harvest with Indians who were native to the land, who also brought their food to share. And when I was younger, oh my gosh, I envisioned this meal and a time set aside for everybody to be thankful for their blessings. I loved that. That was just the best part of it. But today, Thanksgiving seems to be a starting point for a shopping season, if even that. And we could say it's about Christmas, but there's so many different celebrations that go on. And it seems like it's a countdown because, woo, now we're going to all celebrate. But I want to take a step back and go, what are you grateful for? Because gratitude has been shown to be important. It's an important aspect to healing. So that's what I want to talk about. And before we go, I wanted to share a couple more things. That on Wednesdays, every Wednesday now, I'm doing a live stream that we're calling Wednesday's Wisdom, and it's on at 10:30 a.m. Eastern on OMTimes Experts, or OMTimes Webinars. Yes, you can find it on Facebook, OMTimes Webinars, 10:30 Eastern, 9:30 Central, where I am, called Wednesday's Wisdom. I don't know why I'm getting things confused here right now. So that's going to be on Wednesdays. And then a couple times a month, I'm doing Channeling Source to Soothe Your Soul. And that's going to be this Wednesday. What that is, it starts at 9 p.m. Eastern on Wednesday. And it is more of a class. In that class, I ask you to bring your questions. You can even ask which master teacher you want to answer that question. And we're going to dialogue and start to help you learn how you're channeling light beings, how you can channel the pureness of your own source, how you are growing as a spiritual being. I want to help you feel connected to your soul and be bathed within the light of God. And the last part of that class is going to be a channeled vibrational healing, because these beings of light have truly helped me move from a crippled, sick little girl who wasn't supposed to survive to a grandmother of 4. I know. Can you believe that? To a mother and a grandmother. I'm healthy. I'm happy. My doctors even wonder, how do I keep getting more and more vibrant and healthy? And I want to share that with you so that you too can have vibrant health within your body, can have that understanding of hope and prosperity for all. Because we can do this. We are doing this. We just need to help our minds focus back in on all of the positive things that are going on in the world. And you can find out more about that by going to my website, MaggieChula.com. And that class I was just talking about, Channeling Source to Soothe Your Soul, is on OMTimes Experts. So you can go right where you went for the radio show, OMTimes.com, and go to their expert platform. You're going to find my class there. Look for me, Maggie Chula, because that's where it's going to be. And I'm going to ask you also, go on over to Facebook and like my business page, Maggie Chula Maggie Chula, Psychic Channel and Spiritual Teacher, because I want you to know that I love working with these beings of light. I believe in the power of the mind, and you are a beautiful, bright being of light. So that's my cue. I'm out of time. I hope you join me next week. And meanwhile, have a wonderful, blessed week. Bye-bye.